Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
We can never get these intros right.
No. And I also always forget to lean into the mic.
Yeah.
I moved myself and the mic today. It is Halloween as we record this.
Yes, as we record this.
As the crow flies.
As the crow flies, it's all shooting be Hallows Eve. I mean, not even the Eve. It'll be Halloween.
Yeah, I guess it...
All Hallows Eve.
Yeah, there we go.
Whatever. It's Halloween, baby. The spookiest time of the year.
Yeah. It's real spooky. I was just thinking about those people that spell Halloween HAL apostrophe LWEEN.
Yeah, they think they're all fucking cool. It's like the hipster. This is like a hipster way of spelling it.
Yeah,
so
it's
fucking
like
cool.
Well, I'll tell you this much. H.P. Lovecraft had a poem called that, and that's how it was spelled. So
I guess,
maybe he was the orig.
Fucking H.P. Lovecraft's a horrible racist, so
what?
It doesn't matter. So he's invalid.
I guess so.
No, I mean, his stories are important, but he was a horrible racist.
His stories aren't even important. They're just interesting. Everybody bases their shit off of it, and they're like, oh, yeah. Cthulhu.
Bioshock. Heavily influenced.
I mean, Call of Cthulhu. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, Call of Cthulhu. I mean, barely, but come on.
There are two Call of Cthulhu games.
Yeah.
I've wanted to play both. I know the first
I did want to play the new Call of Cthulhu game that came out. It was pretty sick.
I heard it was really good from the Mega 64, but like eventually you get bored. There was one that came out beforehand though. That was like supposedly shit.
Yeah.
But I still want to play it because I love the idea of that. But yeah, it's fucking spooky, scary.
It's spooky, scary
pumpkin
day.
Time.
Spooky, scary pumpkin day.
Spooky.
That's what they need to rename Halloween. I love
There's a blown up pumpkin in my backyard, and squirrels have been crawling around in it all week, and I kind of love it.
And they've been fucking it?
No, they've been like grabbing. It's really interesting.
Yeah, but fucking it.
I mean. Yeah.
Yeah, essentially. They've been putting their nuts in it.
I've been taping it every week.
I've been taping it. There's always like tiny holes.
I have a really small following on Pornhub for a very specific pumpkin fucking squirrel fucking pumpkin fetish. It's kind of like my new thing. I don't like it, but you'd be surprised.
Check it out.
You'd be surprised.
On Pornhub. For this Halloween
episode. Consider make funny faces.
We can make funny faces this whole episode.
And no one can. It'll be just like the magic thing.
No one will ever know.
But just they'll hear us breathing. And the sound of our skins.
I thought it would be cool for this. Well, first of all, I wanted to rant about something that's related to Halloween.
Spider-Man?
Yeah, we're going to just talk about Spider-Man.
You're talking about Spider-Man again?
No, so I'm sure you guys have heard of this. It's called trick-or-treating, right? You've heard of this thing called trick-or-treating. You go around. So I don't know if this happens everywhere else, but at least in my neighborhood, kids don't go trick-or-treating anymore. Now what we have is called trunk-or-treating. Have you ever heard of this, Quentin? You ever heard of trunk-or-treating?
I haven't heard of trunk-or-treating, but what can I say in my head?
Yeah, what you think it is? Yeah, what do you think it is?
No. When you said we don't have trick-or-treating, in my head I was going over like, what's a funny thing I could say here? And then you said it.
I said the thing. But this is real.
Okay.
So trunk-or-treating, so this is how dumb it is. So like kids don't go around in the houses and trick-or-treating anymore. Now what they do is parents will have their parked cars all lined up or like around in like a circle kind of, and they pop their trunks and they decorate their trunks, and you just go to the trunk and get candy. And there's like,
get the fuck
they get tickets.
Out of here.
They get like tickets.
Get away
and they,
from
exchange
me.
the tickets to get candy.
I hate this.
It takes. It's supposed to be quote unquote safer, but
it's
it
just
takes
very
all
complicated and weird.
It takes all the it just takes all the fun away of trick or treating. It's like Halloween is over in 5 minutes.
So like
it's over in 5 minutes. You go to Trunks, get a bunch of candy, you go home.
Have you read The Giver?
Yeah.
That's the world we're moving into.
Yeah.
With shit like that.
Yeah.
Okay, 5:00, it's time to get your trunks open. Okay, we have to be done by 5:15. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Go. Okay,
go. Yeah, it's like it's so, and yeah, people will have like apple cider stands or whatever. Or like I haven't seen it. This is just what my mom is telling me because she's
very closely monitored. The drugs are administered.
Yeah.
In the right doses.
Yeah. My mom is a kindergarten teacher, so she knows all this stuff.
She's in on the trunking.
Yeah, she's in on the trunking. And she's just like, I mean, even she thinks
she's
it's
a trunk
stupid.
expat.
It's just really stupid. it takes all the fun. Like this is perfect segue into what I wanted to talk about, which was like Halloween. Some of your favorite Halloween memories.
Half the fun of trick or treating is the fear that you'll be captured, raped, and killed.
Wearing a fun, silly costume.
Sorry.
It's a rush. It's the closest we get to an action movie as a child.
We're in costumes.
We're in costume. We're in a costume. We're in danger, and we get to run, and we also get candy. It's the greatest rush.
Oh my God, you're right. It's the Goonies IRL.
Yes, it's the Goonies IRL.
Except Miss Fratelli is actually David and
Dave from Three Doors Down,
and he's alone.
And he invites you. He's trying to invite you in while you're trick or treating.
Yeah. Anyway, this is
it's a perfect segue. I was saying this is a good segue into like talking about our favorite Halloween memories. But like I remember like trick or treating as a kid,
fucking hate it.
And like it was like. I remember when I was a kid, like my favorite Halloween memories would be like I was gonna say Hollywood. Favorite Hollywood memories.
Yes,
Hollywood.
Not far off.
Not my
especially after our action. Sorry,
I mean people wear costumes in Hollywood.
Exactly,
so it's not too far. But like my favorite Halloween memories are like getting like all of my friends when we would get together and at my house or whatever, and we would like go through my neighborhood, and then we like got on our bikes and went to like their neighborhoods and their costumes, going to like. Trick-or-treating all the houses.
That's the real
It was
Halloween.
super fun. Like we would all go back to the house and we would like trade candies and stuff.
Share
like,
the loot.
Yeah, like
never did
trade the candies. And then we would just like hang out or play video games, whatever.
Get high.
It was so much fun, and I feel bad for the kids that have to like
to trunk it up.
Do trunk or treating.
Especially if they have no frame of reference. Yeah. They're like, this is what it is. Yes.
There's no like, exactly. There's no like.
That almost sounds, I just say.
There's no like freedom. Like.
That is almost like the ideal world for the kidnapper because they're like, oh, perfect. They come into my trunk already. I don't even have to grab them.
They're all gathered in one place.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Come check out my trunk. Slam. Later.
It's like, it's not enough that. The kid has to trick or treat in their neighborhood, right? Like you can't just let your kids go out and just like, okay, here's our neighborhood, safe neighborhood.
There are demons out there.
Yeah, I guess so.
Ghoulish ghouls.
I just feel bad. I don't know where I don't know if this happens like anywhere else in the country.
It probably does.
But
dude,
like
I've heard about stuff like this for forever.
It's just really dumb. Like that's I don't know. That's the whole point of Halloween. That's why people.
No, the point of Halloween is to celebrate the coming winter.
Yeah,
from the witch calendar.
That's what is so exciting about Halloween as a kid is like picking out your favorite costume and then walking around with your friends.
Yeah, as a kid,
going door to door.
As a grown up, I'm summoning the dead.
Yeah.
I have more important issues to deal with.
I'm trying so hard to talk about Halloween. This fucking guy.
I'm sorry.
We're gonna have another Merklor.
It's because it's Halloween.
Yeah.
No, you know what about Halloween? Because when I was a kid, I didn't do any of that. I mean, I went trick or treating, but like I didn't have any friends. Not really. I mean, I guess I had friends, but I went out with because I got four older brothers. I would go with them a lot. And those were some of my more memorable memories. Was going with them or my dad. I remember when I was a kid, I would go with my dad. That's the thing. You know, you talk about safety and trick or treating. Where I grew up, towns were far enough apart that you couldn't just bike to the next town over. So we didn't do any of that. So trick or treating was stuck to your town. Yeah, we didn't bike. We didn't bike to like other towns. We lived really close in our neighborhoods. Oh, okay. So we would just bike. I see. Yeah, so we would just bike to each other's neighborhoods, right? And trick. Well, even that was the case. And trick or treat in Little Warren, Vermont. Yeah. Well, you talk about safety of the trunk, though. In my town, when I was a kid, you generally went with your parents. So it's like if you went trick or treating, it wasn't just you and your friends going out. You went with like your family and like. Yeah, when you're at a certain age, like when I was no, dude. I remember when I was in like elementary school, like in 5th or 6th grade, I'd see like an entire family because like a lot of the people I knew, like you'd be 12, but you'd have a 4-year-old kid, your young brother or sister, and they'd theme their outfits. Like I remember, like families, doing that too. I mean, there's Chicken Little was there was a certain age where my parents went with me, and then eventually. Maybe, like middle school, we went by ourselves because they trusted us enough. Oh, see, that's when we stopped going.
Oh,
middle school.
Well, then I guess I was just a fucking loser.
No.
I
know a lot of people that went until they were like 16, 17. Not where I was from, but like...
When did I go? I think I stopped.
You know why we stopped?
Why?
It's a fucking hassle.
I think I went...
Like where I lived, it was not convenient to get downtown.
I don't remember when I stopped going. I think it was either middle school. Maybe I went like freshman year of high school.
I know.
With some friends. I think that was the end.
Since coming to college,
that was it.
A lot of the people I've met in college trick-or-treated up until like they got their driver's license.
Dude, I go trick-or-treating now. I just like...
Yeah.
You're just so fucking busy.
Dude,
I mean, we're doing this now. Like
every day I go trick-or-treating. I go up to my neighbors and ask them for candy because I'm a weirdo.
Yeah.
I
mean, yeah, I guess it's like... I understand it loses its gimmick, and you know what? I don't even know if I would go, but like,
because it's what Halloween is like. It's just a fun, spooky time of year. It's like the one time of year for a lot of people where they dress up, and so like I think the fun thing about Halloween is dressing up and getting spooky. Like especially
it's just fun.
Like I remember when I was like old, like not older, but younger than I am now, older than I was as a kid, and being like, what am I going to do for Halloween when I'm older? And then I got to college, and I was like, oh yeah, I'll just throw fun house parties and make it scary. Like I made 1 million fingers and ears today.
Yeah, I guess that's the thing too, is like as you get older now, it's just you just have like Halloween parties. You don't go trick or treating anymore. You just like
you just have folks over and make all the like part of the fun for me now is making all the cool props and stuff.
Yeah. Well, no, you do costumes for a living. Yeah, I guess that's the thing with filmmaking is we do that.
Yeah.
We just do that for a living
Dude,
now.
our Halloween parties, if we really put our resources together, can be phenomenal.
Yeah, it could be the greatest Halloween party ever.
Yeah, like mind-blowing.
Yeah.
No, but when I was a kid, I went with my dad a lot as a vampire. And he would have like a funny thing on. Mm-hmm. And then I would go with my brothers. My brothers were ninjas a few times. I used to be like a knight and stuff. When I was a kid, I was really, really, everyone, all the other kids in my class and stuff, I mentioned Chicken Little, like, they'd be like, I'm going as a frying pan. Like, I'm a fried, like, my brother's an egg and I'm the frying pan. Haha. Mm-hmm. And they'd have like a gag. They were really fucking intricate homemade costumes. Yeah. They were cool. I was like, no, forget that. I want to be scary. I went one year. Dude, I was in like 4th grade. I went as a terrorist. Oh, that was my thought. I was like, terrorists are scary.
That's the real world. I'm
gonna go, and I dressed up like a fucking.
Oh my god!
What is it?
Osama bin Laden?
No, like a Taliban guy. Like it was fucking. I was like a little kid.
Oh,
I don't know.
I
think my mom and dad were like, "Oh, he's an army guy." Everybody in town thought I was just an army dude. But then I would fucking say, no, I'm a terrorist. And they're like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Oh my God, Quentin.
So weird. I was a little boy. I didn't know any better. Yeah. I said to my one friend, I was like, it'd be better if I could go as like a barrel of toxic waste or something, but I don't know how to make that.
One year I was a Dementor from Harry Potter because the movie just came out. I was telling kids that I would suck their souls.
Oh, nice.
And my dad was like, "You can't say that. Stop, please."
No, dude. I'd be like, "Go on, Derek."
But I was like, "It's just for the movie."
Keep saying it. The kids don't fucking know.
Yeah,
all the teachers do though.
Yeah. Like, what are some of your memorable Halloween costumes that you really enjoyed?
So once I was a knight. I mean, the terrorist one is funny.
Yeah.
But one time, when I was a kid. I mean, the costuming goes back to when I was a kid. I used to make my own little costumes out of stuff, and I'd make my mom buy me stuff. And I remember one time I had her buy me, like, a whole bunch of night gear just for playing around, but it was, like, Black Knight, because I was like, I want to be Black Knight. And I remember as a kid, I had, like, mismatched gloves just because I fucking lost my gloves all the time, and just, whatever, we're not going to buy little Q more gloves because there's gloves all over the house, and I had a red glove and a black glove, and I put them on, and my whole thing was I remember telling people about it in class. I was like, no, I'm a dead knight. I'm like a bloody dead knight. See, my hand's red because it got cut off when I was alive. And like this whole bullshit, and I looked at a lot of people thought I was a ninja because I had a ski mask on.
Oh my god.
And I was like, no, it's like a clasp for the helmet, because I also had a helmet on. But the visor fell off, so it just looked like in the darkness, you couldn't even tell I had anything on my head other than the fucking balaclava. So people were like, "Oh, you're a ninja," and I'm like, No, idiots. I'm a knight. But there was one, and it was probably the last one I ever did. On a whim, I used to travel around with my mom a lot for like errands and stuff. And every now and again, especially during that time of year, we would like stop in. We would stop in on Halloween stores just for the hell of it. Because there's a few up in Vermont, just like big like random eye parties and stuff. One year my dad made me a scythe out of sheet metal and stuff. It was fucking kick ass. We found this branch in the woods, and it was this big like gnarly, huge curved branch, and he made this like scythe blade, this dull scythe blade out of metal and put it on top. That was cool. I walked around. They made me put it away at school.
I wonder why.
Because yeah, the pointed part of the scythe, it didn't have a blade, but where it got pointy was wicked fucking sharp. And I remember, I think it was like my music teacher was like, "You can't have that in here." Like that, like she's like, "That's really cool. Like that's kick ass that you made that. But if that falls, it's gonna really hurt someone." And I was like, "Yeah, you're right." Little kid B was just like, "Okay." But then at the few years after that, I think it was like 4th grade, my mom got this crazy cool looking like demon mask. It had like all these like horns and like teeth growing out of it. Since we had all kinds of like specter hoods and robes and stuff. And so I put a big black robe over the mask, and my dad had made me earlier that like in the summer a bunch of like wooden machetes and scimitars and shit. When I was a kid, I was always asking, my dad's a carpenter, and I was always asking him to make me like little swords and stuff. And so he made me that, and that was when I was getting older, so I was getting more mischievous. And I was walking around with my I was old enough at that point. My mom didn't think my brothers had to go with me. And so if my brothers went, I didn't have to follow them. That was the other thing too. Sometimes I'd go with my brothers. My mom would be like, "You guys got to all stick together." And they'd be like, "All right, Q, you can do what you want." And like we'd all kind of like do our own thing. And because we all knew we were not stupid. And so we would just meet back at a spot. Obviously before, none of us had a cell phone or anything like that. That was a time I was with my friend Sam. Dude, yeah, the more I think about it, my town was fucking awesome for Halloween. There was a massive, massive graveyard. And at the top of the graveyard, there was like 1 or 2 houses that were mad rich. And they were never prepared for Halloween, but they always had weird, like I went up there one time and they gave us fucking fireworks. Dude, they gave my brother, I think they gave my brother like $20 in cash once. Just like, oh, here.
Oh my God.
Nobody ever went up there because they were so fucking scared of the graveyard. Because there were no lights or anything. Like after a certain point, you're just walking through graves for a few minutes. It's fucking scary. I was never scared of that. And so like I'd bring my friends up there and they didn't like it. Yeah, the last year with the scary demon mask, I remember our objective was to hide in bushes and stuff and jump out and scare people, which was, it worked very well. It was fucking hysterical. Because my town was like, it was really rural, and so there were a lot of like bushes and stuff, and so like you could hide a lot. But after a certain hour of night, you had to kind of clear out of there because the high schoolers and the burnouts would start coming through, and they would always be like really drunk and fucked up. And like, as a kid, I didn't realize what was going on, but I remember my brothers being like, "All right, we gotta go, let's go." And I'm like, "What? Like, you know those guys?" I'm like, "Yeah, well, you know those guys. We don't like those guys." But yeah, dude, I remember like. It was very, like, there weren't a lot of street lamps in my town. So, like, between houses, you'd be, like, shrouded in darkness. And town proper, like, there was a lot of, like, good spots to go. The town was, like, it wasn't huge, but it wasn't small. And so, like, you could go to the central area, and there was always, like, a haunted house in the library or whatever. Or the not state house, what the fuck is it?
Yeah, I had one of those.
Townhouse or whatever.
At my school. Yeah, like the
City Hall, that's what it is.
I had, like, a haunted house at my... At my school, and I was so terrified. I was always so terrified to go.
Dude, I feel like as a kid, in movies, I could never tell, oh, that's fake. But in real life, I was always like, I think it was kind of like my brothers trying to help me not be scared of things. Because they made it very clear to me that like certain things were fake. And so when I would go through those things, I was very disenchanted as a child. I was like, unless they really knew what they were doing. But like, that's the thing, right? Is it was in town hall. I said city hall earlier. I'm going to say town hall. In the town hall, it's just like some of the teachers and parents like throwing shit together. So like, I've definitely been to haunted houses later in life that were like really good prosthetics and shit. They're like, oh my God. Like you got
went on like a haunted hayride, and they were they had the chainsaws, and they get a little too close to you. Dude, and it's like,
see, that's the... We want to talk about horror haunted houses and stuff for a second. That was I think the problem with the town hall was it was so small you could get up close and see how fake everything is. Yeah, in a haunted hayride, they're out in the dark. It's like when you can't see the little details that point out to the reality of the situation, it's a lot easier to be scared because then your brain fills in the gaps and it's like, yeah, man. I don't know that I don't remember. I don't remember my childhood super well in general, but I do remember Halloween's being scary when I was younger, but also just cool. Because I remember when my brother took me when I was like little, he took me up through the graveyard. My brother Johnny, and he was like, and I was like, he told me, he was like, no, trust me, this place is way cooler because everybody's just, he was the one that told me like everyone's too afraid to walk to the graveyard because they're dumb, and these people have money and they always have cool things. So we went up there like, I think it was Sparklers that time, and Sparklers and some like Almond Joys or something, and we were like, fuck yeah,
that's sick.
Yeah. Anyway, that was my Halloween, Warren, Vermont. It was a cool good time, and there were a lot of like artists in the valley, so there were always like some really cool elaborate costumes, especially earlier in the evening. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it was like a whole town-wide thing. Like they did all kinds of stuff. It was neat. There's candy everywhere. I think there was even a parade some years. Like they would go through the town and do like a whole thing. And then they'd like let us loose and we'd all walk around and grab candy. Some people would really set their houses up. There were these one guys, they had the entrance to their house was like this weird, you know, when you open the door to get the candy, like they open the door and let you in, they had this like huge entrance way. It looked like you know, when Harry Potter's on trial in Prisoner of Azkaban. Mm-hmm. It looked like that. It looked like walking into that courtroom where everybody's just like, yeah, it was fucking weird.
Oh, you mean in not Prisoner of Azkaban, in Order of the Phoenix.
Order of the Phoenix. Okay, my bad. I don't know my Harry Potter movies that well.
Harry Potter.
I'm working on a Harry Potter show, and I'm not even anyway. I've been talking for a minute, but yeah, that was wacky. I remember that as a little kid being like, "Whoa!" Yeah, they were major hippies.
Halloween for me.
Yeah. You talked about all your candy gathering. Yeah, that was the other thing too. Is I didn't really do that with my friends. Mm. We would get a shitload of candy, but it would be my brothers and I that would be like, "I don't like this. I don't like that." Mm. I did go with my friends sometimes. But I would
go trick or treating all the time. Yeah, I went Harry Potter a couple years, I think, or like 1 year. I went Dementor, Spider-Man. Yeah. Spider-Man 3 came out. I went as Aragorn from Lord of the Rings 1 year.
Hell yes.
Yeah, that was so fucking cool. That's cool. I went up as like a weird ghost 1 year because that's I don't know why.
A ghost was always
skeleton 1 year, I think.
I never did skeleton because I was like, it's never gonna look right. Yeah.
When I was at SCAD, they had the masquerade ball. They had a masquerade ball. So 1 year I did Spider-Man when Spider-Man Homecoming came out. I did that costume, and then the next year I wanted to do something kind of scary, kind of funny. Yeah. So we went to like the Halloween store, and I got this like really weird skin alien mask. Like it looked really creepy. Yes. So I got that, and then I bought a black like skin suit. Like one of those like latex, not latex.
Was it the same color as the alien head?
No. It was just like black. Yes. It was like all black. And so I was like, this is probably my favorite Halloween memory. This is like sophomore year. Uh-huh. So people thought my friends thought the alien mask was like creepy. But then I just started being a fucking goofball, like at the masquerade ball, and I was like literally like running around on all fours, like crawling. I was like Gollum. I was like crawling around, like people were fucking like terrified. Like I would like come behind them and they'd be like, "Oh my Jesus Christ!" And like I was just like running around making noises. I was just going like, you could just hear through the mask, like. I'm just like running around, like it's like writhing around on the ground, like it's on the ground, like my pelvis on the ground, like my body up. I'm doing like a weird like stretch position,
arch back, like
screaming and yelling. Yeah, I was just like a mongrel throughout the whole. I was like shaking people's hands and like not saying anything, like just doing weird shit.
The mask took over. The distortion of your voice behind the mask adds because it feels like maybe you're like trapped in there. Yeah. And
it was so funny. And like that was so my favorite Halloween memory because like it kind of freaked people out, but also I was
I would fucking love that. It was
so funny. Yeah. It was just really, really funny. And like everybody was like, I would interact with people and they'd be so uncomfortable because I wasn't saying anything. I wouldn't be doing anything. I'd just be like doing weird movements. So that was fucking awesome. And then I didn't do anything. Last year I bought a costume. I bought
Oh,
I bought the Insomniac PS4 Spider-Man suit, but I didn't do anything for Halloween. I just got it. Oh, you know why? I got it because I was going to a Halloween party, and then it didn't arrive on time. So then I went to the Halloween party in my my homecoming Spider-Man suit again. They didn't have anything, but and then this year,
I didn't do
nothing. Yeah, I was doing anything.
I think
and I'm okay with that. I was a little bummed, but I was like, you know what? I'm all right.
One year I threw it wasn't like a big Halloween party. It was a Halloween party with like some good friends of mine and me, and that was really fun. I made a necromancer costume for that.
That's sick.
And I did a similar. I wasn't as outrageous,
There's a
but
big theme of necromancy,
dude. I love necromancy. I think it's cool, and I like necromancers. Well, what it took me like an afternoon to make. I bought a mask, like a half skull mask, and I put some like scrim behind it. It just looked like I took someone's face, like skull, and decided to wear it. And there was like you couldn't see my eyes, and there was just like.
Speaking of that, one year I did do like skeleton face paint.
Oh,
I was
nice.
I was into American Horror Story. I wanted to do like that, like his skeleton face in the show. Okay. But now I fucking hate American Horror Story. It's so like cringy to me.
Why is it cringy? I know people love it. I have.
We'll talk about it. You finish your story and then I'll talk about it. And
well, no, I mean it's real quick. Well, I also want to say I did Doyle Wolfgang von Frankenstein's makeup from the Misfits. The Halloween year I did the party, and I put demon blood tears in my eyes. I looked
sick.
I looked fucking cool. I have pictures of that somewhere. I actually really like that look. The mask is what made it because I had the scrim came down. It looked like burlap like over my mouth, so it looked like I ate like dead bodies all day. It looked fucking gross. And I had this big cowl I made, and I had like a hand, like a severed hand I was carrying with me, and like bits of bones and stuff. And I was just gross. And I would just like leer in the corner and like drink my drink and look at people with the mask on. So I wasn't as outrageous as the alien, but for like at least like maybe half an hour, I was like trying to be spooky. And then I like took the mask off and I just looked like a homeless person essentially. Yeah.
I'll talk about American Horror Story in a second, but speaking of Halloween parties. Two things about Halloween parties. There was one year.
It's always on a Thursday.
Yeah. My birthday is really close to Halloween. It's on November 12th.
Oh.
So one year my mom, this is just a funny story. One year my mom wanted to throw a surprise Halloween party for me. And then I asked, but I had an idea like, I should throw a Halloween party. So I asked my mom like, hey mom, is it okay if I have a Halloween party with my friends? And she just went, we're throwing a surprise Halloween party birthday for you. And then I had to tell everybody, like, my mom spoiled the surprise.
Dude, that's great.
And then one of my fondest, like, Halloween memories is I used to have we're still friends. We don't talk as much anymore. We used to be really, really close friends. I used to go to his house all the time. I used to be really close to this family, and they would have like a Halloween bash, like with their family, and they had like they do a pumpkin carving contest in the family, and they had like a tractor and like have a hayride through the town, like through the neighborhood, and it was a lot of fun. And I remember that was a really, really fond memory. He's a cool dude. His family's really cool.
Sounds rad, dude. Talking about pumpkin carving. When I was in high school, on my cross country team, my friend. Maybe I shouldn't say his full name. My friend Sam. That guy loved Steve Prefontaine. I don't know if he still does. He probably still thinks Pre is pretty cool. But, dude, I remember thinking it was funny at the time and then later on being like, that's actually a little almost obsessive. We did a pumpkin carving contest. My pumpkin was stupid. I got, like, for some reason... I don't know if we chose them. I think my friend Jacob grabbed it and we were going to do it together. And like, I was like, let's make a weird, like abstract art pumpkin. And I like carved out all these weird fucking shapes. It looked stupid. My friends carved out this like outrageously detailed, like it looked like he fucking drew it. Prefontaine. Like he didn't.
Who's Prefontaine? Actually,
you don't know who Steve? He was just a really very talented long distance runner. I forget what his like specific race was. My cross country coach in high school, John Kerrigan, was fucking obsessed with him. He loves him. There's a documentary about him somewhere that he used to play for us before we would go to states and shit. He's just he died in a car crash or something really young. It was like too bad. But he's like one of the world's best. Like he's just really talented runner, and a lot of people look up to him.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of runners look up to him, I guess. And great ethic, I guess, for training. As you can tell, I don't know much about him. I just know his name.
Yeah.
But he had like a thick mustache and long hair. And there's like pictures of him, like, that's like his look, is like the hair blown back and him like running in his he's from Oregon, and he used to run for the like Oregon State. Dude, he carved this, like, he didn't like make actual perforations in the pumpkin. He like made the pumpkin flesh itself like thin so that it would, like subsurface scattering, sort of like the light would come through the thin pumpkin material. I'm telling you, it was like a 1-to-1. It was like almost photorealistic, carved into a fucking pumpkin. It was bizarre and rad. And he did it throughout the entire evening.
Yeah.
And I remember, like, it was like a party. So we were doing stuff. There wasn't like, okay, it's pumpkin carving time. They were like, at the end of the night, we're going to have a pumpkin carving contest. And the last like half hour, my friend Jacob and me, and we were just fucking around at this party. And then when we were reminded of the pumpkin contest, we were like, shit, grab a pumpkin. And this is how I remember it. And I think he just grabbed a pumpkin, and I was like, all right, let's do this. And then they put him up, and I looked at Sam's. I was like, holy shit, dude. Like, you fucking...
Just fucking obsessive. I'm like,
dude,
yes.
I know, that's what I thought. At the time, I was like, that's really impressive. And then in the morning, I was like, that's a little obsessive, Sam. Like, but, no, I mean, it was fucking rad. But you mentioned pumpkin carving. I was like, I saw a pumpkin carving that literally, like, blew my mind.
Blew my fucking load. My mind.
My mind load all over the place. It was really embarrassing. People were like, "Why? What is this
Get out.
stuff?" It's like,
get out.
This pink gooey liquid just spurts out of my ears. Sorry, guys. Mindgasm. Gross. Anyway, that's kind of spooky.
Yeah, that's a little spooky. That's kind of spookiness you get on the podcast.
At least this time of year.
So, yeah, American Horror Story.
Oh, yeah. Tell me, what is this?
Oh, you've never heard of American Horror Story?
Oh, no. I mean, I've never watched it, but what's your gripe? I know.
Oh, I mean, okay, so I used to like it when I was...
my mom really likes it.
I used to like it when in high school, and I feel like that's the audience that it's going for.
Sorry.
Ooh, tell me more.
I can't help myself. Go on.
So fascinating.
No, that's not what I was trying to say.
That's what it sounds like.
I was just trying to sound goofy.
It's like, so fascinating.
No. I was picturing like a duck and its mouth hanging open like like a lick-a-tongue or something.
Okay.
Anyway, go on.
I used to like it in high school, especially especially the first and second season.
I hear those are good ones.
Yeah, compared to the rest of the seasons.
As with many shows, it seems
those are good. Well, the problem with American Horror Story is that it's an anthology. The problem is that it's not an anthology show. The problem is that they reuse the actors for the same actors for every season, which again is not a problem. But they're trying to like connect the universe together. And the latest season, it's trying to connect all the seasons together.
It's trying too hard.
It's trying to connect all the seasons together in this season where it's like all of the past seasons are coming together in this final season. But it's like, well, all of the same actors have been playing different characters. So it's like, what are you going to do? It's really strange. You know what I mean?
Yeah, what the fuck are they?
Yeah, I haven't seen the season, so it could be
That's
working.
Really poorly thought out.
Yeah, it could be working, but like, it's fine if it wanted to be this anthology show where it's like each season is different.
They'll do Gemini Man.
Yeah, I guess so.
For everyone.
But yeah, for everyone, get Ang Lee on it. But my problem with this show is that at times it feels like it's trying too hard to be edgy. It's being really edgy.
Dude, why is that a thing?
I don't know. Like
people find like let's do that.
Like let's look at the first. Like look at the first season, right? It's like everybody in the show is depressed and like. And I'm not trying to make fun of mental illness at all. We've talked about mental illness and anxiety and depression on the podcast, but like you look at the show and it's like everybody's depressed. Everybody like cuts themselves. Everybody loves Kurt Cobain in The Fall and like they like hardcore sex with the latex like BDSM suit and
yowie
zowie. Everything is like dark and depressing. Everybody's talking about like life sucks and there's a main character who's a psychologist. One of the main characters is a therapist, and at the end of the season,
she's crazy.
He's a guy. First of all, no, the dude, and like at the end, he's like, all that psychology stuff, it's all bullshit. It's just people don't want to deal with their problems. And it's like, what are you doing? Like, do you want to make a commentary on mental illness? Are you going to make fun of it?
And what kind of commentary is that?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's
very helpful.
That's the point of the show. Is like, I don't know what they're doing. Like, one of the main characters in the first season, he's a school shooter. Like, you find out he's a school shooter.
Ouch.
And it doesn't feel like it goes anywhere. It just feels like they made him a school shooter.
Hey, guess what? Hey,
they made him a school shooter because it's creepy.
Go on,
kind of.
But I have a point to make after that. No, hey.
Continue talking.
I had a thought enter my mind so swiftly and so violently.
Well, what is it?
It made me pause.
No, you say it first. You go.
No, it's just now I've completely commented.
No, just go. Yeah,
I want you to finish your thought.
No, that was the end. I wasn't really going to say anything else. Yeah, keep going. Yeah. You say what you're.
Well, no, the school shooter thing. I had a roommate, very nice, good person, and they are a writer. And when they were in college, I think they still do this now. They're a copy editor. Mm-hmm. And they would copy edit for the school paper. And the school paper would take short story submissions. Some of these people might, they don't know. I don't know how it works. I don't know if they know the editor's name or credentials at all.
Just bleep his name out.
No, but yeah. So anyway, my old roommate, they would copy edit stuff, and they must have taken a leaf. These people sending in stories must have taken a leaf out of Black Mirror's book.
You mean American Horror Story?
Or American Horror Story. Because it was popular at the time, and a lot of these people, they would do that type of shit. School shooter, or like the stories, and they would always complain about this, and they would always say like, yeah, they blow their load on the first fucking page. Like, it's a suicide. And it's like, that doesn't, they seem to think that going to 100% right off the bat hooks the reader in. And it's like, no, that does not.
Well, it
doesn't make your character inherently interesting.
It stems from the fact of like, it's like, you got to have an interesting hook.
Exactly.
You got to have an interesting beginning, but you can't like go crazy.
Okay, so here's the thing.
You can't blow your load.
Exactly. You can go crazy. You have to fucking earn it though. Yeah. It has to. If I don't know this character and suddenly I find out they killed their mom, I don't give a fuck about this guy. He killed his mom. He can go to fucking hell. I don't care about him. But if I find out if he murders his mom, or I find out he murders his mom after 20 pages of getting to know this dude, or more than that, after like 2 or 3 chapters of getting to know this guy and learning the information, suddenly that mom murder is like, oh, fuck.
Well, it's like the first 10-page rule of like a screenplay. It's like, you want something exciting, but the point of it should be to set the tone.
Yes.
Set the tone and set up a quick setup. It's not to just have an interesting hook for the sake of setting up the hook. Like, for just having an interesting hook. Like, you look at the beginning of Indiana Jones is one of the best openings ever. The first one, like, sets up who Indiana Jones...
Another example.
Okay, it sets up who Indiana Jones is, and it sets the tone for the movie. Like, it's, and the beginning of Indiana Jones movies are perfect too, because most of the time the beginnings have nothing to do with the rest of the movie.
Yeah, it just you want to watch the rest. You're like,
it just sets up the tone for like who Indiana Jones is, what he does, what the action is going to be like, what the rest of the movie is going to be like. Yeah,
punching Nazis and finding treasure.
Yeah, exactly. Pretty much.
Fucking cool.
Punching zombies and zombies, punching Nazis and fighting treasure,
dude. I want to see.
I wish
Indiana Jones.
Yeah, Indiana Jones, the Crystal Skull should have just been.
Can you fucking imagine?
Indiana Jones fighting zombies, Nazi zombies. It could have been
Nazi. Then you know to deal with the fucking Russians. Holy fuck! And they like come back. Oh, dude.
Oh my god. That's how you do a soft reboot.
Listen, Hollywood.
And it loops back around to Halloween.
Yes. We are fucking brainiacs.
Yeah, we are fucking. Amazing. Yeah, exactly. Then after all those years, that's how you do a soft reboot, is you do Nazi zombies.
Nazi zombies. And you keep the aliens out of it. No, what I thought of as you were talking about that was similar to a good round of magic. All right, you can't get the territorial bailoff out immediately. You've only got 2 mana. You got to get 8 mana.
Only one person in the audience is like, that's right, dude! That's right!
But it still kind of applies. Like, Yes, obviously, you can't have the big, cool, crazy climactic thing come out immediately. Just like you can't have the big monster card come out immediately. One, it would ruin the game, and two, it's way less dramatic.
But yeah, American Horror Story has this problem where
it's just too darn scary.
It's just too darn scary.
Just make me real fear.
It's really not even that scary.
It fears me up.
That's the thing too, is it's not really that scary. But American Horror Story has this problem where the first couple of episodes it's good. Like the first couple of episodes really like hook you in, and momentum. It's interesting, yeah. And then as it goes on, it just kind of like drags on, and then you're like, okay, yes. What? And then it just keeps going, and then it just kind of ends.
Much like the Wheel of Time books towards the middle.
Like every season has had that problem, except for the only really good season, I think, and I haven't watched American Horror Story in a long time, is season 2, because it takes place in an insane asylum. So everything that happens is fucking crazy. Like there's one episode where a girl says that she's Anne Frank, and then like one of the warden people is like a Nazi, and then there's like these weird zombie creatures, and one of the main character was abducted. One of the main characters was abducted by aliens, and it's like is
it just their delusions, or is it?
No, it's just like it's all actually happening, but it's like it's all over the place. But it feels natural because it's an insane asylum. Yeah. So it works.
They really benefited from that.
Yeah, it works, and it totally just feels crazy, and but like every other season, like that's just kind of how it goes. It's like they'll introduce new plot lines and stories, and it's just like they'll end stuff really quick. Like in season 5, which is Freak Show, there's like a creepy clown serial killer, and he's dead by like episode 4, and you're like, well,
I want to see more of this clown.
Yeah, like
how many episodes are in a season?
Oh God,
like 12, 20.
He's got like I'd say probably in the 12 zone, maybe like 10.
And they kill him on the 4th episode.
Yeah, exactly right. Like they kill this clown off, and then
why don't they have him do some more clowny?
Right, and then they have this other character who becomes
there's so much you can do with a clown.
They have this other character that becomes like the new clown, and it's like I don't want him to be the new clown. I want the creepy clown you've already set up.
Yeah, hey, you can't get rid of your queen and then just get it back in the middle of the match, guys.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and that's what they do. But that's what they do though. Is like that's what every season is like. Every season starts out interesting, and they're setting up these plot lines.
I should watch it all now.
And then it just like they just keep dragging stuff on, and it keeps going, and then it just kind of ends, and you're just like, what?
Maybe make the seasons shorter and more explosive, like 4 episodes that are like an hour or 2 long a piece, and it's just like this crazy tale.
That's the thing is like the seasons need to be shorter. That's the problem. Is that like I said, seasons start out really good, and it feels like they just drag it on for too long, and it feels like it needed, like the season would have benefited, like the show, like seasons would have benefited if it was just like 6 episodes. Like if they could, because like the stories,
like half the episode,
because there's a lot of stuff set up in those beginning episodes where it feels like this stuff should just be the main conflict, but then they add in new characters as the story goes on. They add in more shit that just happens. It just feels like they keep adding in more conflict to drag a story on.
You know what it is?
What?
It's the playground conflict. You know, you just keep adding more bullshit on like double Dutch black magic, whatever. Like, just keep adding more shit in to be like, it's not interesting anymore.
That's exactly what it feels like. And
Blue Eyes, White Dragon, Double Inferno, Triple Wings, Super Threat.
I have a Blue Eyes White Dragon deck.
Times
also.
Beans and Black Magic, White Magic 2, sideways on my Dolphin Flip, hook.
Candy cane flop. Yeah. No, but like, that's what it feels like. And also, they also feel this need to like explain the world more. You know, like,
I don't care.
Like in the house, like
I just want to see this.
Like the first season is the haunted. The first season is a house. It's a haunted house, and like the rule is established where like if you die in the house, you're a ghost and you're trapped in the house.
Ouch.
So like they have like this. They'll have episodes where they need to explain more rules of the house. Where it's like. Where it's like this woman.
But there's a secret other rule.
There's like this woman. Like this woman is on a kill. She fucks people in the house, and then she kills them, and then they're trapped in there, and then there's a gay couple.
They're trapped in her vagina.
The gay couple wants the baby, and they can travel through walls, and then you just have to say go away to the ghost, and then they go away, and it's like
snap your fingers.
Keep
3
some
times.
mystery. It's like don't. It's like, and they do that. They do that with. They do that with other seasons, like in season 5 and like season 3. But like they just keep feeling the need to like explain their lore and mythos like too much.
I get into that trap sometimes with my writing.
Yeah, and a lot of writers do. I totally feel that, where it's like you're afraid that audiences aren't going to get it, so you want to explain it. But also part of it for something like this, where it's a horror show or even like a fantasy, it's like that. Keep some mystery. It's like I'll say like season 3 with Coven. It's like we know we get witches. We get witches. We understand like witches. I don't need you to
Witcher 2.
I don't need you to over explain a convoluted backstory about fucking Kathy Bates as a witch and like all these fucking spells and her backstory, and she comes back. Like I don't need all that. I just show me this cool witch. I can look it up later. Shit. Yeah, I can look it up later, or just show me. Don't tell me. Just show me cool stuff. You don't have to like over explain all the time with like exposition. And that's the problem too. Is a lot of shows a lot of exposition.
That is something I've been trying to avoid in my writing. Like just now, I was writing the background for a D&D character, and then I went to go write another thing, and the opposite things happened. With the D&D character, I did exactly that. I left out pieces of his world because then does it apply there? But in the other thing I was writing, I was putting in too much background into the kingdom.
And I have a problem with that too in my writing, which is I have a hard time showing, not telling. So like I'm not being judgmental, but like no, but it's important that you don't do that though.
I'll say this: it's not impossible to like use a bunch of terms that just sound like esoteric and weird. That esoteric weirdness is kind of cool, I think. Like they do that in Blade Runner. Like I remember watching the first movie. You could tell it's like visually they do a lot of that, where you see this like huge cityscape. Yeah, there's a shitload of stuff going. Like we are focusing on this one dude's little path through all this, but it's very clear this is a like odd world, and there's a million stories.
I've never seen Blade Runner, but like them talking about like, well, that's the thing, is they're working on each other. It's like visually they're showing you this giant city in this like futuristic world.
Have you seen any like footage of it at all?
Oh yeah, I've seen I've seen clips and footage of Blade Runner. Yeah,
the sets are
and then
so cool.
Them also talking about and referencing other things,
like the corporation.
Yeah, they're working
and other corporations,
but they're working in tandem with each other because visually it's showing you this giant world, and then they're also referencing other stuff. So the two are working together to make the world feel
even the like
huge.
The owl at one point, like they have an owl swoop in, and the guy says like, "Yeah, that's you'd be surprised that that's not a real owl. That's actually a synthetic owl we created, but we made it so well it looks." Because that's like one of the things in the world. That's just another piece of it. It's like, they don't have real animals here anymore.
Yeah, it's just a dumb show. I would watch season 2 because it's fun. And like that, another thing too is like the acting is really good. That's the thing, is like the acting is really good. That makes it a
shame.
And the actors are really well-known actors. So like whatever material they're given, they're going to do a really good job with it. It's just, and the show is not scary.
No,
if anything,
it's just an interesting.
It's like like the first season, all the seasons really, they're just like soap operas in a horror setting.
Okay,
not even they're like
nice.
They're like these sitcom dramas, like these soap opera dramas, just like in a horror setting. And the only one that's really like fun and crazy is season 2.
That's too bad.
Yeah, and the new season now is like a 70.
Gets wild.
They're doing a 70s slasher season.
Huh. That's kind of cool.
Like a horror movie slasher season. They're trying to cover all their bases, which I appreciate. Like they did a freak show. They did Coven. They did
now they
did a hotel. They did like a creepy hotel, which was in modern day. They're trying to finish a storyline from season 1, which was like the birth of the Antichrist, and then they're doing the 70s slasher. Oh, they did like a political season where it was like after Trump got elected, which it was really fucking stupid, dude. It's really fucking dumb. Yeah, I think the villain. I think they were like, they had a whole thing with like Charles Manson, and they were doing like that was in the political season, and it was like after Trump got elected, and I think they were doing like whites. I think it was supposed to be like white supremacists. I think it's it's stupid. It's very like Tumblr. That's what I'm saying. Is like it's not scary. Not scary. It's very like cringy Tumblr, like emo goth. Like high schoolers would be like, yeah, it's deep, dude.
Homestuck.
It's fucking deep, dude. Like middle schoolers, high schoolers, it's fucking deep, dude.
Listen, Shudder or whatever has
I've heard of
Creep
Shudder.
Show and stuff.
Oh yeah, the Creep Show remake.
That, I see little ads for it on Facebook and stuff. That looks fucking cool. That looks better than American Horror Story. At least the little snippets I see.
Oh, Shudder. Yeah, I've heard cool things about Shudder, and they got the Critters show on there. I just watched Critters 1, and Critters 1 is it's a cute little B movie.
I'll say this: that stuff doesn't look scary, but it doesn't look like it's going to try to do what it's not trying to be edgy. It looks like it's trying to be almost campy.
Well, Creep Show, you've heard of Creep Show, right? Like the original.
The original old stuff. Yeah. When I was little, I saw a lot of that. That's what I'm saying. Like,
well, Creep Show, yeah, it seems more creative, where it's like it's actually trying to like do these like horror sketches, and it has that whole cool atmosphere with the Crypt Keeper and
like
well,
that,
no, well, the thing with American Horror Story is it's just like every season is a different. It's following a different thing. Yeah. And it's just not... Yeah, the first season's like ghosts in a house.
This feels like... This Creep Show thing feels like I'll get what I got out of Evil Dead. Where it's kind of goofy, but there will be moments where I'm legitimately like, oh gosh.
Yeah.
Which I fucking love.
Yeah. Well, I ranted on American Horror Story for a bit, but
I know, we've been going for about an hour.
What's one of your favorite... scary movies?
One of my favorite scary movies.
What's one of your favorites?
Honestly, for the longest time, I didn't watch scary movies because I was really afraid of them.
Yeah, me too.
When I was like a kid and teenager.
What was your first? Okay, so wait, what was your first horror movie?
I don't know. I probably saw. I mean, probably by accident, like bits and pieces of Texas Chainsaw Massacre and 28 Days Later. And then as I got older, when I was in high school, I watched like Shaun of the Dead and stuff, and I was like, oh, this is funny. And then, I don't know what happened. When I turned like 18, 19, I was like, my friend Sibby was like, hey, let's watch The Babadook. Come over and watch The Babadook. I was like, all right. Horror movies, when I was a kid, they used to fucking terrify me. Something about my chemistry just changed, and I was not scared at all. I was just like in love.
I'm very intrigued by horror movies now.
Dude, something about the monsters and the spooks doesn't scare me. I love the tension of like, oh man, like I want to see what it is. Oh no, how are they getting it? Like, I don't know. It's thrillers are the ones I really like. But yeah, the first one I really sat through was probably The Babadook, and then, but that was when I really fell into like, oh, I want to like watch horror movies, and I watch them all the time now.
The first horror movie I watched was Mama. I got dragged to see it because I liked a girl. I wanted to watch it and be cool. Did not work out.
I brought a girl to see The Witch when it came out, and neither of us were scared. I was in love with it because I'm a costume designer.
Scared of like Mama, but now it's like it's pretty silly now.
She was just like just sitting there poking holes in the plot, and I'm like, shut the fuck up! This is so cool. Like it's so funny. We're both like. It wasn't a bad outing, but it was just like we I don't know. But what the hell is Mama about? I don't know.
It was it's about two girls that get lost in the woods. No, it's about two girls who were lost in the woods. Two little girls, and like their I think uncle finds them, and they like how did they survive this long? And it turns out like their mother who like died was a ghost and was like taking care of them.
Dumb.
It was like I think it was directed. It was a short film originally directed by Andre Muschietti, who I think
Andre Spaghetti.
Andre Muschietti, who is doing. I think he's directing the It movies now.
Oh.
And it was produced by Guillermo del Toro.
Oh, okay.
And then the next horror movie I saw after that was the Evil Dead remake, which I was also but like that was one of my two introduction to horror movies. And then I realized I had this moment like after I actually sat down and watched them where I was like I remember Evil Dead specifically. There was a point where she like chainsaws a demon, and I'd never seen the original Evil Dead, so like I didn't know the references. Like, but she chainsawed the guy, this like demon, and I was like, there was a point where I was like, yeah, I was like cheering, and then I was thinking about that where I was like, how come I'm cheering? I was like terrified to see this movie
because it's cool to watch them overcome.
So then I realized like afterwards, like if I watched that again,
like the original,
like I wouldn't be as scared because some horror movies are just kind of like gimmicks where it's just like you watch it.
And I love those. I love like schlocky shit horror movies. They're fucking great.
But I'm trying to think what my favorite horror movie is to get me in like the Halloween mood.
Oh, mine's The Witch for sure.
Oh yeah,
it's just so perfect. It's such a Halloweeny. It's got such a great atmosphere. The cinematography is like perfect. The costumes are amazing. I think the acting is great. Like the script, like the way they fucking talk. Have you seen it?
I haven't. I want to though.
Dude, watch it.
Because I want to see The Lighthouse too, and it's the same director.
Yeah. I gotta see that. I heard that Jacob watched that, and they were saying it was filmed in like some weird aspect.
Yeah, it's like filmed in
so if you see it in theaters, there's like giant black bars.
Yeah.
Which I want to see it like that because that'd be so jarring and weird.
Yeah.
But no, the Witch is great because the location is awesome. The sets are awesome. It's just like this gray, sad.
It's like Salem, Massachusetts, right? Or isn't it Salem?
No,
it's in Massachusetts, right?
Yeah, it's in Massachusetts. It's well before. Like this is like when they were purely just Puritans. Like like this is like they just got here.
But still, like it being in Massachusetts and it being in fall, like totally sets up the spooky.
They get exiled because they're not following what the church is doing. In the mind of the family, they're more pure than the church. And so they get exiled and they just go find a plot of land out in the woods somewhere, a big clearing. And the guy's like, oh, sweet, this is awesome. But it turns out it's witch territory. And, the witch is like, oh, sweet, a family to fuck with.
Children.
Great. It's really cool. And the ending's phenomenal. I really like the ending. I have a poster for it somewhere in here. I really like it. But that's it. That's my fave, probably.
Movie that gets me in the Halloween spirit.
My brother's is, I think, it's not a horror movie. It's, I can't remember. Hocus Pocus.
Oh, yeah. It might be... I want to say Nightmare Before Christmas, but... but I like...
Dude, I think about that all the time.
But I mean, yeah...
Where does that one fit?
It gets me in the Halloween mood somewhat, but I want to pick an actual, like, horror film.
I wish Corpse Bride was actually a good movie.
Yeah,
because that would be
Corpse Bride isn't very good. I was so bored through Corpse Bride.
It's not good. It's not good.
It's
forgettable. Surprised I even remembered it.
I can't think of one that gets me in the good Halloween spirit.
Alvin and the Chipmunks, a Chip-O-Ween.
A Chip-O-Ween.
I can't remember.
Oh, those Alvin and the Chipmunks movie, the one where they meet Frankenstein and the Wolfman. Those ones get me in the Halloween.
Do you know like not the CGI ones, but the old animated? Yeah.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Those ones. Yeah, the old animated ones. They meet Frankenstein and then Wolfman.
The Wolfman's got a kick-ass cane.
Yeah, that was great. That one was probably my favorite one more than the Frankenstein.
And they become Jekyll and Hyde. Oh man.
Yep.
Those fucking chipmunks.
Always getting into shenanigans. Okay, I'm just gonna go with Day of the Dead, George Romero, because I watched it not too long ago. I watched it over the summer, weirdly enough. But thinking about it now, it would put me in the Halloween mood because it's like it's just so. I don't know. You just feel sick watching it. You feel so sickly. Like towards the end there's just these like people trapped in this underground lab, and one guy's like training a zombie, and
yes,
it's what's the guy's name? It's the actor. It's Joe. I can't remember his name, but he's fucking great. Joe DiMaggio? No, Joe Pilato. His name is Joe Pilato. He's the actor, and he's like the general. And he's like the best part of the fucking movie. Just Joe Pilato screaming is the best. And like when the zombies like finally attack the base and they like ripping people apart, it's just like so sickly and gross and like it's just and like Day of the Dead, the name Day of the Dead just makes you think of like Halloween and like. Yeah.
I don't know, it makes me think of de
Muerta.
Forgot to say
Goosebumps.
Dias de los Muertos.
Goosebumps kind of puts me in the mood. I always think of like any Nickelodeon Halloween special. SpongeBob Halloween special, Fairly Odd Parents.
That shit.
All that stuff puts me in the Halloween mood. And then Nettie special.
Sneddy.
Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy.
Oh yeah. I never saw those as a kid.
Yeah, all those specials growing up really do put me in the Halloween mood because I was always looking forward to those like every year.
Oh, that's fun. I remember as a kid I used to like those, but I never watched. I had the Nickelodeon stuff, but I didn't have the Cartoon Network stuff.
What other Cartoon Network? There was Billy and Mandy.
Fucking Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, you dolt.
Yep. I remember that one.
I love that show.
There were so many. Yeah, there like it was so weird. It's like that was a golden age. Like that those decades were a golden age of cartoons. Like all the like the 2000s.
That could be nostalgia. I haven't seen.
I listened to the Fairly Odd Parents, the Real and Scary, and it's still catchy and it was still really good.
I don't even remember that.
Remember because Timmy wants it to be like real, like all the costumes are real, like everybody's like real.
I remember as a kid watching that stuff and wanting it to become. It's really funny because as a kid I was scared of scary things, but I wanted it to become actually gory. Like in my head I would fantasize about like and then this terrible thing happens.
No, it's just
maybe
like
because it was familiar.
It was such a golden age of cartoons,
right?
And
golden cartoons,
the golden age, and then even like the holiday specials were also like
fucking good.
Yeah, they were also amazing.
I wonder what changed.
What changed is Cartoon Network is doing good. Nickelodeon not so much.
I haven't watched a new. I mean, I'm a grown up.
Yeah, well, I don't watch any of the new shows either. I just sometimes I'll watch, but like sometimes like reruns of SpongeBob will be on.
Oh right.
I'm just flipping through the channels or like.
See, that might be it. I don't watch.
I just pay attention to the commercials and like what's on Nickelodeon. It doesn't seem like it's as good. The only one that seems good on Nickelodeon is the Loud Family, but Cartoon Network has like Amazing World of Gumball, and like I know people like Steven Universe. They had regular show, Adventure Time.
Yeah, that stuff wasn't. No, I meant like right now today. Adventure Time.
Well, yeah, those stuff was good. I'm saying like now, regular show's gone. So I don't know what's on. I don't even know what's on Cartoon Network now.
That's what I'm saying.
Steven Universe, maybe.
I mean,
Gumball's still on. Gumball's really good.
I've seen some good ones. You know what? Now that I think about it, I remember my friends at Harbor Point when I used to live there, going to their place and watching Gumball with them. And they're a rabbit, and it was a good fucking time. I haven't actually watched them. I remember seeing it at first and being like, "This is stupid." Because I think Problem Solvers came out a little after that, and I remember seeing commercials for Problem Solvers and being like, "That looks fucking dumb." And so I just kind of
said Problem Solvers. I immediately thought of Destroy, Build, Destroy. Do you remember that show?
Yeah, with Andrew WK.
yeah. Andrew WK.
Yeah, what a weird
all white outfit.
That was funny.
Destroy, Build, Destroy. Weird. There was Dude, What Would Happen?
Dude, What Would Happen?
Dude, What Would Happen? Do you remember the show? That. Okay, I don't know if you're gonna remember that. I don't know if you're gonna remember the show.
Don't hit the table.
Sorry. Do you remember a show called Tower Prep? Did you ever watch that show?
Oh my god. Maybe.
Okay, for nobody knows what Tower Prep is. Tower Prep was this show. I loved it as a kid. It was about this group of kids. Like it was about this school called Tower Prep, and like these kids would kind of get like kidnapped and brought to the school. And the reason they got kidnapped and brought to the school is because they had like powers. So like the main character, if he was in a fight, he could see like the opponent's move before it could happen.
I need to pause you here.
What?
Are you saying tower or power?
Tower. Prep.
Go on. I'm trying to figure out
Tower
the title.
Prep. And there was like one girl who could like mimic people's voices. There was like a guy who
turned to a badger.
He was like really lucky. He could like do probabilities. Everybody had like a weird power. And
but no one could turn to a badger.
No one could turn to a badger.
Sorry.
There was this whole subplot about like
a guy who could turn to a badger.
The beast. There was like
the badger guy.
The badger.
Found it.
There was like even the teachers didn't even know how to leave. Stop with the badger.
I'm sorry.
Jesus Christ.
I'm really sorry. Go on.
It ended after one season.
Oh, that sucks. Was it any good?
I loved it as a kid, and like,
okay, cool.
It ended on a cliffhanger too, because like the whole point was that they wanted to escape.
They couldn't figure out.
They wanted to escape the school, so like they escaped the school, and they got to the end, and there was just like a woman being like, "Congratulations, you made it," and they're like,
"Congratulations, you."
And then she disappears, and then I was like, "Oh my god, I can't wait for next season to come out." And nothing ever happened, and I was really disappointed. I really wanted
It'd be cool if they had commercials or something that explained when seasons stop, like when a show didn't have a second season or something, and they just were like, they all died or something.
Yeah, like why? Nothing ever.
When I was a kid, I always wanted that.
Because like I'm trying to remember, there were shows I liked when I was younger that would come and go, and I was always like, where is that? Actually, now that I think about it, let's see, Rocco, SpongeBob. I'm trying to remember shows I liked when I was a kid that never returned, and I think I can't remember them because at the time my brain was like, well, don't need that anymore.
Yeah, we're probably gonna have to end soon, but before we end, one final Halloween.
Oh, I thought you had something cool.
No, one final Halloween question.
The final ween round.
The final ween round. Favorite candy? What is your favorite candy?
I like rotten flesh.
I like old maggots.
I really like when like my favorite, I guess, around this time of year is
if you say something fucking dumb.
The crystallized meat of a boy who turned into a badger. I'm sorry. That wasn't even that funny.
Mine's Kit Kats. Goodbye.
Oh, no.